Bitcoin Live. Today with me is none other than Renzo Digibyte. Welcome back to Bitcoin Live.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to here with you, and thank you for this opportunity.
Well, it's my great honor. I mean, if it's about Digibyte, I think you're the man to go to. And you recently released a really awesome new product like Digibyte Domain names. But before we jump into that, can you sort of give people a short introduction of who you are and how you got involved with Digibyte?
Well, I'm an almost 22-year-old developer. I love to create projects that makes people closer to technology. In this case, blockchain technology. I always try to orient all my projects towards that. I'm from Peru, and I'm always happy to help everyone who reach out. So, if you wanted to just share an idea with me or talk or whatever, you're free to DM me on Twitter or Telegram or wherever. You can find me on Twitter as RenzoDGB or on Telegram as RenzoDT. So I think that's all the introduction I can give right now.
Well, I think that's more than enough, and let's jump into it because you created Digibyte domain names. Can you sort of give us the gist and maybe also the technicals behind it?
Yeah, sure. Well, DigiByteDomains, it's a domain name system for the DB blockchain. It allows people to claim or to register Digibyte names or little usernames that ends on .dgb, and those are like nicknames on the DB blockchain that are tagged or merged or tied to an address where people can send funds to. Whatever thing you can do with an address, you can do it with a domain. Your wallet's able to resolve into an address at the end, and you can use it to receive Digibyte, to receive DigiAssets, and even to generate, to present signatures in future case scenario. Um, but basically, whatever you can do with an address, you can do it with a Digibyte domain. It's a protocol on top of on top of DigiAsset. It's work with DigiAssets. So if your wallet supports DigiAssets, it already supports partially Digibyte domains. The rest of the magic works behind scenes every time you want to do a transaction, but it's a permissionless and decentralized protocol that allows basically anyone to convert or to resolve from a domain to an address. Basically, that's the social sum up that I usually give to people. The website that you have here is where you can claim the domains. I try to make this as simple as possible. Um, it's basically like a regular domain name website or where you claim domain names. And the cost to reserving the domain is around $12 worth of Digibyte. That's not a specific number. It's usually changed with your trade rate or with your trade balance. And when you reserve a domain that's a unique name only for you, you're the only person that can use that domain, and it's represented in the form of the asset. That's why it's very important that you to manage the domain need to claim it or send it initially to the asset compatible wallets. Once with this DigiAsset, you can move it wherever you want, and that will immediately change the address where this domain points to. So that will change the address where funds arrive when people type your domain. You have total control. It's one-time payment, and you will have your domain forever, basically. There's a small fee to change the domain between addresses using royalties that are embedded on the DigiAsset protocol. But basically, that's it. There's no type of subscription, no KYC to reserve a domain, and basically it's up to you whatever you want to do with this.
Wow. So that's basically your own place on the Digibyte network where you can sort of do whatever you want to do without being censored.
Yes.
And you can even earn some Digibyte with it. So what's not to like about that? I think you already have it sort of open on your computer. Can you sort of give us a sort of demonstration of how it looks and how it works?
Sure. Let's do that. I'm just going to change to my desktop view right now, and I'm going to open a window over here. Okay, so here you have the DigiByteDomains website. It's all the interface. I try to make this as simple as possible. To look for a domain, you just need to type it here. In this case, I'm going to type my domain, Renzo or Renzo.dgb. The website will interpret it as a valid domain, and it's going to show you the whois information, who's holding this domain. In this case, that's my DigiAssets wallet. DigiAssets is the only platform right now that supports DigiAssets version 3, also a core wallet, but that's not for technical people. And well, that's the address where I hold my domain right now. That's the case when you look for a domain that's already been claimed. But if you look for a domain that hasn't been claimed, for example, let's claim one right now. Renzo-ds, my name. That domain hasn't been claimed. So let's claim it. I'm going to type here my other domain, renzo.dgb. I can use the domains insider to claim another domain. So multiple domains can hold or can be held by a single address. So a lot of domains can point to the same address to receive funds into the same place. And I'm going to click here on buy. And that's going to generate myself an invoice. That invoice, as a regular invoice on any website, is going to show you an address where you need to deposit some Digibyte. The amount is set over there. And let's do that. I'm going to send some Digibyte from here. I have my hardware wallet over here, so let's make a quick deposit. In this case, I want to reserve Renzo-ds. Let's remember the domain names follow accordingly or approximately the same rules as regular domains. It only consists on letters, singular letters or lowercase letters, some dashes, but not on the start nor the end. And it's up to between 3 and 64 letters approximately. So basically the same rules, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have here my hardware wallet. So let me make a transaction over here. And it's actually just point your address to the
Oops. Yes.
You lost me? I think I have
Yeah,
some.
for 1 second. Yeah. It's strange because your connection seems fine over here, but yeah. But it's okay. Go
Weird.
back.
Okay, that was weird. Okay, where were we? Okay, claiming the
Yeah, you were
domain.
sending. Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to make a transaction. That's where I left here. Okay, I'm making the transaction right now. I'm confirming it with my hardware wallet. And the balance is around $12 worth of Digibyte today, which is around 1,396 Digibyte approximately. You can send a little bit more if you're feeling comfortable sending the exact same balance. Just 1 or 2 satoshis will be enough, but usually with the same balance or with the balance that shows on the website is fine. Okay, so transaction is being confirmed by my cell phone, and it should appear here to confirm on their device. I love this thing. And it's being broadcasted to the network.
It's
So
also super
one
fast.
advantage, yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, go on. Sorry.
Oh, I was saying that, of course, this use the speed of the Digibyte blockchain to confirm transactions. So it requires 6 transactions at the rate of 15 seconds per block. It usually takes a minute and a half to confirm everything. In a few seconds, I will see the funds here. The funds just arrived. With 1 confirmation, the website needs around 6 to work. Technically, it works with a little bit less, but I set up this range up to 6 to not have people concur with each other when they claim domain. So let's just wait over here to this to happen. You were saying?
No, I am always so impressed by how fast Digibyte is, right? I mean, it is probably one of the fastest cryptocurrencies out there, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, and securities and decentralized.
And secure
We
access, like
are up to
vulnerabilities.
5 confirmations right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's like an awesome product. I mean, you can use it for all kinds of use cases that you usually use domain names for. Um, I think you probably also have some completely new use cases that in mind that you could use it for, probably, right?
I have a view. I have the
Yeah.
app. Let's
Can
see
you
how.
share some?
Sorry.
Could you share some of those ideas that you could use it for?
Sure. Basically, whatever you can do. Oh, okay. It already finished issuing the domain. Okay, I was saying, and basically anything you can do with an address, you can do it with a Digibyte domain because at the end it resolves into an address. Um, Anyone can look on how this works on the inside. I have the white paper information, which is a document that shows the protocol itself, not necessarily the use cases. But this can be used, for example, with peer-to-peer messaging on top of a blockchain. It can tag at the end with a with a profile picture. If you have an asset point to, that's a feature that I would like to implement in the future. Um, it would also you would also be able with that to have a digital identity. If you can produce a signature with the address that the domains can hold to, you can prove that you own the domain. Um, and well, a lot of use cases more. So the white paper, as I said before, it shows every single aspect of the protocol. It shows what it does, how this does, and how it does it. And I try to write it in a very simple terms for anyone to understand. You don't need to have a high technological background to get this. And I also provide an integration guide for basically anyone that is interested into implementing the protocol out there, and some code snippets where it's basically the source code on how to implement this. In this case, JavaScript. It's technically a decentralized and permissionless protocol. So with the correct data source, anyone can do this process without trusting a third party. So it's very decentralized. By
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way,
One of the questions that I wanted to ask you, actually, sort of that I prepared, was you're a little bit like a Wizkid, like a brainiac.
oh.
I respect that, right? It's really amazing stuff that you can do. But how difficult or easy is it to build upon Digibyte? I mean, for somebody who's maybe less knowledgeable as you.
Well, I'm going to answer that from my point of view. I started here around 2 years ago, and at the end, I must say it was a little bit tricky because I didn't have the correct tools to do so. With time, I was perfecting my own tools to work with my projects, but in the meantime, as you know, Bitcoin and Digibyte are 99% alike. Anyone can use Bitcoin tools to make their ideas come true. You just need a little bit of coding background on how to make websites or how to use, for example, JavaScript for my case or for my projects, and to know where to put the correct places or pieces to build the whole background of it. You need to know how blockchains confirm transactions, how blockchain sign transactions. When you put all those pieces together, when you understand that, you're able to create on top of this ecosystem. The DigiByte ecosystem has a lot of space um, to rely on, to work on top of. From DigiAssets is a great place to start, or a transaction basically it's a great place to start building on top of it. With the correct tools, that are a lot of libraries out there that can manage or can sign or can generate Bitcoin addresses transactions, you can be able to create any project you liked, any idea that you came through and that might think is possible on a UTXO blockchain as Digibyte can come true if you have the correct information. You can find that on the internet pretty easy right now, or check on books that are out there. Here in the back, I have like
And
my Bible,
and of
which is
course,
the book that I
they
love.
can reach out to you, of course, right?
Oh, sure. I'm open. I'm always open to help new developers interested in this ecosystem and to help them with whatever doubt they have.
And
I'm sure other developers will be open to that too. And there are resources online, of course. I was saying I have like my Bible over here about blockchain stuff. This, of course, covered just Bitcoin, but as I said, Bitcoin and the DigiByte are 99% alike. So it works too, or everything that works on Bitcoin works on DigiByte too. Um, and
and one
this
of
is a
the
free resource. You can find this book like on internet. It's called Master in Bitcoin, not sponsored by the way, but it allows me to understand on a technical level the Bitcoin and the Digibyte blockchain, which is a huge help to build projects like this.
well, and I think also there doesn't have to be a tension between the two, right? I mean, that's one of our sort of core values at Bitcoin Live, that there's enough room for any other project, right? That's, we can sort of work hand in hand.
Sure, there's
Yeah.
always space for more.
True, true, true. And one of the other things that I always, mention and that I really appreciate about Digibyte is the community, right? It's very community driven. The community is very much alive and engaged, and you're like the perfect example of that. But we build a bridge towards your DigiAssets. So I'll just open that over here, because, like you said, you can build anything on Digibyte. Uh, and this is,
Oh,
an example of some of the stuff that you make, like games. You make the faucet. Can you tell us a little bit about all the other things that you already built?
yeah, well, it all starts with the faucet on 2021. That was one of my first projects that I published. Then, of course, came along the way a few other things like the DGS Explorer that you have over there. On top of that, some games that I developed and that I put inside a DGS, such as game cartridge. That's where the style came from, a NES cartridge over there. So the things behind that is that you can purchase a game in form of DigiAssets. You get a DigiAsset inside the DigiAsset, not with a third-party source. No, no, no. There is a full game embedded on that. I have 3 games on my own and one on collaboration with DGB, which are different simple mini games that you can play to just spend some time, to just pass some time, and some of those are pretty cool. I personally like the first one. Was the first product that I managed to put inside a DSL, and it was kind of fun doing it and publicizing, and it got a really nice compliment received among the community. Um, Another project that I create is one of the first D apps on the Digibyte blockchain. I'm going to share my screen now to show it to you. So let me change my view over here. Right now, it's only available through an installer. If you go to my GitHub page, GitHub, I'm at Renzo DB, you go through repositories and look as Digibyte Canvas. Here it is. It's a simple application that uses the Digibyte blockchain to store Canvas, like r/plays that came along from Reddit last year. And it's basically that. It uses the Digibyte blockchain to store a virtual canvas where anyone can paint into.
Cool.
You can make any draw you like with the same color palette that I have here. And it costs like 1 Digibyte to paint the pixels. So right now, in our market, it's a great opportunity to leave your mark. Because remember that all of this is on the blockchain. It can be censored, it can be changed or altered over time. So if you leave your mark over here, you will have a little piece of yourself on the digital blockchain because it's a virtual space on the digital blockchain.
Yeah, that's really
Uh,
awesome. And I know a lot of people from the Digibyte community. I also really like the Digibyte Elves, who also have this really cool NFT project out there. And there's a lot of others. I can't mention them all, but
Yeah,
um,
from Majestic J, from
yeah,
Gift.dgb, from DGB. And all of that is built on top of the DigiAssets. So we must thank Matthew Cornelis for that. He's been also a great help for DigiByteDomains because he implemented that. on his platform, allowing me to launch this project. Oh, I'm going to change that on my self view. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, you're a little bit bigger. This.
Yeah.
So yeah, amazing stuff. Do you have any other sort of projects in mind that you're sort of gonna create after this, or
I have a
what is your
couple.
plan?
Yeah, I have a couple in mind. Um, I have plans to create a Digibyte improvement that relies on an authentication protocol such as DigiID with the same background as DigiID, but without the need to being connected to the internet to authenticate yourself. It's more
Ah,
like a one-time password generator using the Digibyte, well, not the Digibyte protocol, the Digibyte internals on address generating and stuff that it's called, that it will be called DigiToken. Of course, as it will not use digital or cryptographic signatures, will be a little bit less secure than DigiID, but it won't use internet, so it will allow you to generate one-time passwords, such as those bank tokens that you use to confirm bank transactions. Here in Peru, we have those.
yeah,
And well, I think that's one of the coolest things that I have in mind to produce this year. It will just be a proposal as a white paper or something like that, and with some
mhm.
code snippets to implement it. Um, but I hope that it could help uh, uh, digital authentication using blockchain technology in places where you can have correct or a singular or a good internet connection, because that is always important to have yourself authenticated regardless the environment.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it
that's
will
one of the
be
things that I can think right now.
sort of fully private, secure, and
Sure.
decentralized.
Yes, that's the most important line. I'm permissionless.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And permissionless. Yeah, yeah. And global, right? Borderless is also a very nice feature.
Mm-hmm.
So you're sort of really connected to the community, of course. For me, I have to sort of jump in and out different places. So what is your sort of your impression of Digibyte at the moment? Are things good? Are they growing? Where do you see development? Can you tell us a
Well,
little bit about that?
Well, we're an open source community, so we always struggle to put together some workaround products or some workaround projects. I know that the DB developers have been working on the version 8 of the protocol, or version 8.22 version of the protocol, which is great. Fully respect to them. I'm always try to look for, or to try to every time that I try to look inside the the Digibyte source code, and I'm talking about the protocol, I would always get a little bit scary. So I have a huge respect for them for what they do. I'm not feel yet prepared to go to that, but as a community, I think that we are in the right place we need to be right now. We have a lot of activists that are not also that are not just influencers on the DB community. They're also educators, which is great because it's always nice to have people that transmit that knowledge to new audiences, not just to bring them into Digibyte, but to bring them into a space where you can be your own bank, where you can be, or you can be empowered your own finances, and that's always good. Um, and the correct way to do that is by teaching them, or teaching the people, or teaching the public, or what are the advantages of this technology. And that's something I'm very proud of the DB community. There are a lot of people willing to not just communicate about the DB, but communicate about this amazing world, amazing technology behind it, right?
Yeah.
So always bear market give us some struggles, but I think it's a good place to start building projects, to start building. Bull markets, of course, always bring new people into the community. That was my case in 2021. But the bear market allows me to build on top of it. It's one of the huge opportunities that I have. And I think that a lot of people can find the same opportunities here on the debate community.
Yeah, yeah, and they just can jump into the community, right? It's very open, it's very friendly, it's very helpful. So that's something I really like. I also really respect Taint, the founder of Digibyte. I've just forgot just forgot
You're
the
saying,
name. Yeah. I've skipped my name. I really like his outspokenness and his sort of critical view on everything that's going on, right? I mean, for me, there's like certain coins that are very important, privacy coins, of course, Bitcoin, of course, but also like really decentralized coins like Digibyte, Decred, and some others out there. And I really like that the founders of these projects, they try to sort of distance themselves or sort of make themselves less important, but they are also very sort of outspoken and very critical thinkers, I think.
Criticism is always good because it allows you or give you space to grow, to get better, what you need to get better. So it's always welcome. So, of course, if someone doesn't agree with me on some stuff or on some policies that I'm taking with projects, feel free to share with that because I will always have a third-party view of what I do, of what I of what I create. So criticism is always welcome.
True. That's the only way to grow, right? Constructive criticism. Sometimes criticism can also be not so nice, right? But in general, you learn and you grow, and you know if you can deal with criticism. So yeah, we welcome that also, and I want to thank you for the amazing work that you do to sort of decentralize the world through Digibyte. I also want to ask you. I think I asked you before, but how do you see Digibyte sort of evolve? Because right now there's like a crackdown on crypto going, right? I think you
Mhm.
probably noticed that. I mean, who hasn't in crypto? And I think this is very good news for the truly decentralized projects like Digibyte, right? Because it shows their true value and their true use case. So, but how do you see that future? Because it's looking pretty grim, right?
Yes, I think the opportunities that Digibyte community gave to people, not just developers, people in general, are very bright. And I believe that if we work together, of course, that's always difficult as a decentralized community, but if we put an effort and work together, bright futures out there for us. I'm not just talking about in price, of course. Price for me is secondary. The primary thing is what we can build on top of blockchain, on what we can create, on what we can put people closer or bring people closer to community. That's one of my stands here. That's what I start working on this. That's what I joined the community. I must admit I came through or I came by Digibyte by accident. But when I understand the inside of this cryptocurrency, I fell in love with this ecosystem. And I saw here a huge opportunity, not just to grow myself in personal project things, but also to teach new people about this. Anyone new can download a wallet, one of the lots of wallets that are out there that support Digibyte, and go to the DigiFaucet and claim some coins to start checking the speed of this network. Or log into the asset with DigiID and I claim that free DigiAssets from DigiFaucet. So the tools to get into this ecosystem are out there. We just need to get people to know them. And by doing that, you're not just helping the DigiByte community to grow members, but you're also help the crypto space to get new people to know it and to be aware of that we're there and the capabilities and possibilities that are that they're being able to do so. So yeah, if you're asking me about how I see us in the future, I think that I see us educating more people. I see us creating value, creating more projects, not just me, but the community itself. The tools out there, and we just need people that can put those tools into place to build something that generate value for everyone,
And
not
I
just
think
for the community, not just for DigiByte, but for everyone in the crypto space.
Yeah, and I think also, as sort of the things get worse, the sort of the urgency or sort of the need of people to learn these kind of things increases, right? So I think it's sort of it will increase as things get worse, and that's like a positive thing for truly decentralized projects and privacy coins and the good projects out there. So sort of my final question for you is. what do you perceive as one of the dangers going forward? What is the thing that we really have to watch out for, or that we sort of have to tackle?
Well, one of the biggest dangers that I'm aware of right now is for the community to go apart. Remember that cryptocurrency is based on its community. It's based on the people who use them, and we must be strong, or we will be strong together. But if we fall apart of the community, then our whole ecosystem, the whole thing that we work for, will. I'm not want to say dilute, because that's not the correct word, because knowledge or the things that we do would always be out there, but it will be hard for people to find us, to find this, or to be able to work again on top of that. So we need to be helped, or we need to stay together. That's one of the main threats, not just for Digibyte, but for every single cryptocurrency. A cryptocurrency is not as strong as the mining algorithm that secure them, but as strong as community. So, as important as it is to have a lot of miners to secure the network, it is to have a lot of members in the community to share the voice, or to talk, or to expand its limits into the unknown.
So sort of to tag on a little bit on that, what you're saying, and also the question is like, so how do you see tribalism within the crypto space?
Um, I lost you for a second. I heard you the last word.
So how do you perceive the tribalism within crypto communities? I mean, on the one hand, it's very positive, of course, right? You need like a core of defenders that sort of protects the project, but
Yeah.
you also need to reach out and to join hands, like you say, right?
Yes, to have like multiple factions on the crypto community. Well, it's always good, because you're kind of competing with each other, trying to improve the best of what you can do. But remember that, as we are all like divided into factions with the different coins we like, we're also a big group together, opposed or betting for the crypto space, betting for what cryptocurrency can do for us. So, unless, or no matter that we are betting for different ecosystem, for different coins, we're all here with a common um, for a common objective, which is at the end to have cryptocurrencies or crypto space to get more adopters, to be or to get from a real utility on the real world. So we're all here for the same common, or for the same objective.
And I think Johnny Law makes a really good point also, allowing this space to become asset speculation alone, maintaining silos, misunderstanding that interoperability aids true decentralization. I fully agree with that
Same.
too. Yeah. So Renzo, I want to thank you for being on the show. I really enjoyed it. Before I let you go, is there anything that we sort of missed out or that you want to highlight?
Well, just host were very specific on what you want to talk. So it's great to have this direction from you. Thank you very much, because when I start to talk, I usually go off the subject a lot. Uh, but I think we cover basically every single project that I ever released on the Digibyte blockchain. So thank you very much for the opportunity. And I think we can leave it there. Oh no, well, there's one thing. DigiFaucet just updated itself. Well, I updated DigiFaucet, but it just received a huge update.
Okay.
And now everyone is able to receive testnet coins from the faucet. And testnet coins is a great tool for developers to keep working on the Digibyte blockchain. So if you're a developer and want to get your hands on some testnet coins, remember that the testnet coins are worthless. They're used for developer things only. You can get those easily. You can set up your own testnet node, or download the console line interface wallet that I published a while ago. All the links are on the DigiFaucet on the bottom page, and start developing on the Digibyte network. I always try to make things easier for developers to create new projects on top of the development, and I think that will be a good opportunity for everyone. Uh, Yeah,
fully.
that's exactly the tweet I published.
Yeah, I'll just show it so that people can easily find it. But if they follow you on Twitter, so follow Renzo Digibyte on Twitter, of course. If you are at it, also follow me. That I would really appreciate that. And you are always welcome, as anybody else out there who's listening on Bitcoin Live. I won't say Digibyte Live, but it's Bitcoin Live, to talk about Digibyte or any other crypto out there who's sort of passionate about decentralization, freedom, humanity, right? Spreading human I'm stuck in Digibyte. Human dignity, and all the other good stuff out there, right? We have to band together, we have to stay strong, and we have to spread the good word, right?
Yes, by staying together, we're staying strong.
Agree.
And that will be our biggest weapon, not just against market, not just against bear market, but against every single trouble or complication that we came across the journey.
Absolutely, we have to decentralize. That's the main objective, and we have to fight against extreme centralization that's going around the world right now. So again, Renzo, I want to thank you. People, check out the DigiDomains, because that's what this show was about. It's like a really awesome tool where you can create your own space on the Digibyte ecosystem that is permissionless, borderless, open source, free. It is decentralized. It's censorship resistant. It is anything, and it's super quick and affordable. So you can do with it whatever you want. Go check it out. The links will all be down below in this video. We're also on YouTube, of course, which is not very decentralized, and on Twitch and on Twitter, which hopefully will one day be decentralized, and some other places like TreeSpeak and perhaps other places soon too. So with that, I'm gonna end the show, and I'm gonna thank everybody for watching this show. Share it with your friends, like it, retweet it, do whatever you want with it, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity and goodbye.